just want to say Foothill Missionary Baptist Church is where I'm a youth supervisor here in the community, and Miss Pat Kerrigan was president at a council meeting we had with the police chief and 33 other churches that were representative, as long as a representative from Miss Kaplan's camp as well. What was expressed was the violence that goes on rampant in our neighborhood. San Antonio Park has a lot of crime, and it's very rampant with gang violence, etc. We don't use that park for our children. I personally have covered graffiti in our parking lot on Independence Drive that splits between our church. I was born at 677 Wesley Avenue. Astro Park was my playground growing up. So I have tons of memories. I'm a product of the Oakland Public School District. I went to college in New York City, graduated with honors, and I moved back home to be an example and help other young people. I noticed earlier today you honored young people for what they did. Well, guess what? You're going to honor other young people who are doing exceptionally well using that park. And it would be very unfortunate in the same breath to honor these young people and also honor young people that were maybe brutally attacked in that park at the same time. So I highly urge you to not allow this park to happen. I also urge you to enforce the dog laws that are in place that are not being utilized. The people who want this dog park are not taking responsibility for all their dogs that are leaving feces all over around Lakeshore, Grand Avenue. They're letting their dogs run rampant through the parks that say no dogs. I stay on Hanover now, and if you walk down Hanover to Lakeshore, you see nothing but dogs running through that little park there that's right on the hill where it says no dogs. So not only are we asking to deny this plan, but we also want to see you more active in giving citations like you gave out parking tickets. Enforce the laws that are already there so people will not have to call and write letters to you. Thank you.
First thing I want to do is put a phrase into your mind to think of. It's not either or, it's both and. What we're asking for here, and as the director of the Lakeshore Business Improvement District, I've got to say, bringing more people into the neighborhood is not bad for business. Now, most of the folks that will use this park will walk, and it makes our city more walkable. But honestly, if people want to come to your neighborhood for whatever reason and they're going to end up shopping there, it's really a positive thing, even if they occasionally drive. But there will be a lot of people in that area who will be walking to this park. So it's really an amenity for the Lakeshore Business Improvement District and also for the Grand Lake neighborhood as a whole, because these folks come to spend the day and spend their dollars in Oakland. So let me remind you again, it's not either or, it's both and. And I also wanted to respond to a couple other things. This idea that this is a gateway and a sense of identity, that's great, because I'd like to see a gateway that's inclusive, not exclusive, that brings all the folks together, including people who, as we know, many people nowadays consider their pets part of their families. And that's people with kids and people without kids. So remember, it's not either or, it's both and. So the other thing that's interesting about it is the idea that the grass is really sacrosanct. We're not in the suburbs here. Most of us don't want to be in the suburbs. I grew up in the East Coast where grass was a little more natural. Here it's a very water and fuel intensive activity. So if we're going to put some other flowers and things like that and where the dogs are, there'll be chips. I don't think that's going to hurt anything that we're not spending all this extra money on that little part of grass that will be missing, and maybe we'll chase some of the geese away. Overall, though, and that could be a good thing. Overall, I think the idea is that, once again, it's not either or, it's both and. I'm also a parent of kids who played soccer their whole childhoods in Oakland. None of their soccer leagues ever used this field, but they did play softball on there. My kids were allergic to dogs, so I would have loved to have a dog park for them to go and enjoy the dogs, even though they couldn't have one in their household. So remember, it's not either or, it's both and. We can enjoy this park as a community, and we can include everyone.